Raise your hand if you're a non-native English speaker who's been learning English since preschool but is still struggling to speak fluently. You might understand a fellow Filipino speaking English, but you have a hard time understanding and having fluent conversations with a native speaker. What's crazy is you may have excellent reading comprehension, a solid vocabulary, good enough writing skills, and a strong grasp of grammar, and yet speaking English fluently remains a challenge. If this sounds familiar, you are not alone. This is exactly what I felt years ago, straight out of school. Plenty of graduates, yes, even degree holders, feel this exact same thing. And in this video, I'm going to show you not only the technique, but also the tool to help you overcome this. So what's the problem here? The problem isn't that you're inherently bad at speaking. No. The real problem is that many of us have been taught the wrong English sounds and are lacking real use of the knowledge taught. What I mean is, we've been taught English with a Filipino accent, and all we did was learn. There were barely any chances to put what we'd learned into practice. Now, let me emphasize that I'm not blaming anyone here. It's just that our workforce has evolved over the years. In the past, we worked, we spoke English locally, and understood each other perfectly, so that wasn't really an issue until the past few decades when the outsourcing industry exploded and diversified. More and more Filipinos found employment in sectors that require communicating with native English speakers. There's just an undeniable discrepancy between the sounds we learned from school and those used by the natives. As a result, our accent suffers, and so does our ability to comprehend native speakers, which again would have been a non-issue if we were not in the outsourcing industry. But as it turns out, we are. So what should you do? Well, it depends on what you're currently struggling with. If your accent is heavy, you need to listen, mimic, and record. This technique is called shadowing, and it's a science-proven way to effectively improve your command of the language. Listening helps you get acquainted with the right sounds while unlearning the wrong sounds you were previously taught. Mimicking, on the other hand, trains your tongue to physically adopt the correct form.
Greta, I'm so glad you called. Are you at the cafe already?
Greta, I'm so glad you called. Are you at the cafe already? And recording gives you an accurate assessment of how far or close you are to the actual sound.
Greta, I'm so glad you called. Are you at the cafe already?
Greta, I'm so glad you called. Are you at the cafe already? But what if you lack spontaneity? In that case, you need to take plenty of speaking exercises. You see, your foreign vocabulary is just like a muscle. If you don't use it, you'll lose it. The more you use your vocabulary and grammar, the better reflex you're able to develop and the more fluent your communication becomes.
Let's have a casual conversation and talk about your interests and hobbies outside of work. Any questions or changes before we start?
Let's start.
Hey, how was your weekend?
Oh, it was fine. I wasn't feeling good this weekend, so I had to stay at home. I was planning to go to the cinema, but I don't know, there's just too many people, you know? So I finally learned how to bake sourdough. It was the best decision ever.
Oh, that's great. I've always wanted to learn how to bake bread. How did it turn out?
It was, at first, surprisingly weird. The bread was really sour. If your vocabulary is poor, you need to partake in activities that introduce you to new vocabulary. One of the best activities that I recommend you do to widen your vocabulary is by reading your favorite books and stories. And in my case, it's always been fantasy books and novels. So I have my Kindle. I just enjoy the story. I read it, and every time I encounter an unfamiliar word, I open my dictionary app and search the word. I go to dictionary. I type in the word. For example, I don't know what this is. I feel like the dictionary from Kindle isn't really that complete, so I use a separate app. This word, and then you click check.
Primordial.
And let me copy it. Primordial. Excellent. Not only will I be able to know the meaning, but also the usage, the pronunciation, and the ability to compare my pronunciation to the actual sound. And the more you read and the more you encounter this word over and over again, the more it's gonna cement your memory of the word, turning it from your passive into your active vocabulary. And now you might be asking, how could I possibly execute all these taps effectively without being overwhelmed? Do I need to hire a one-on-one tutor to help me through the speaking exercises? Well, the answer is no, because I know just the perfect app that lets you do all these. ELSA Speak. ELSA Speak is an English speaking and communication app using its own voice recognition AI technology, ranked among the world's top 5 AI apps with millions of downloads globally. Founded in Silicon Valley and invested by Google. Right now, ELSA Speak provides all the features that'll tailor fit the Filipinos' English learning demands perfectly. But how exactly does ELSA Speak help? Let me show you. Let's say that your main challenge is your spontaneity and reflex when speaking. It's just not as automatic and instant as you would like it to be. Here's how ELSA Speak can help you with that. Let me show you. Let us first open the app. ELSA Speak, and here is the app. Tap on Discover. Tap ELSA AI. This is my most favorite feature.
Welcome to ELSA AI. Please select one of the following role plays.
So here you have 3 options, whether to choose one of the predetermined scenarios, or let the AI decide on the scenario, or create your own. Let me show you an example of a random scenario by AI.
You are a tourist planning a trip to Amsterdam. I will be a local ready to help. Your goal is to gather useful information about attractions. Is this okay, or do you want to change anything?
And if I don't want that, you can propose a new scenario.
You want to start taking your cat for walks outside and seek advice from a friend who has experience with it. The scene is set over a phone conversation. I will play the role of your friend who has experience in walking cats and will provide you with helpful tips and advice.
Most of the time, I just use the surprise me option, but for this demonstration, I'm going to create my own scenario.
What kind of roleplay activity would you like to do?
I'd like to be the customer service representative and you, as the customer, complaining about an order that hasn't arrived yet. You did not receive a tracking number and you think it's delayed and you're frustrated.
The scene takes place in a customer service center. You will be a customer service representative and I will play the role of a frustrated customer who has not received an order that was supposed to arrive. I did not receive a tracking number and I think the order is delayed. Any questions or changes before we start?
Let's start.
Hi, I'm calling because I haven't received my order yet. Can you help me track it down?
Sure, I'll be happy to help you with that. Do you have the order number?
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't have the order number with me right now. But I didn't receive any tracking number also.
This is really realistic. This is something that would happen in an actual customer service call where the customer does not have the order number. And I think I like that this is realistic. That's okay. I can use your email address to track your order. Can I have your email? I see an order here for a red dress. Your order is expected to be delivered on May 22nd.
Oh, I see. That's a few days from now. Is there any way to expedite the delivery?
By the way, if you don't know what to answer next, just tap at the bottom right side and it'll give you options on what to say. Let's say we can try to expedite the delivery for an additional fee. Let me check with the shipping department and see what we can do. How about, let me check with the shipping department because this is a better response. It's not saying no, it's showing that you're trying to explore options.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you for waiting. I've talked to the shipping department, and as it turns out, there is currently no option to expedite shipments, but rest assured that USPS is doing its best to deliver the item on the expected delivery date.
Thank you for your help. I'll just wait for the expected delivery date then.
You're most welcome. I can also send you the tracking information to your email. Would you like that?
Yes, please send me the tracking information to my email so I can keep track of it. Thank you.
Roleplay completed. Well done. We are computing your feedback.
Okay, here it is, the full assessment. So my pronunciation is advanced, vocabulary intermediate, grammar advanced. Let's view the full assessment. So this is it. Okay, so far it's fine. Clear and fluent English, using the right tone. Overall, demonstrated good communication and language skills. So that's the overall feedback. Pronunciation. Okay, here are some suggestions to improve the sounds you struggled with. It's telling me to improve on the sounds which is the soft, like second or best. Now, vocabulary. Try to use more varied vocabulary. In the conversation, you used phrases like order number, email address, confirming, expected delivery date, which are good, but you could also use synonyms and related words to these phrases. Okay. Learn more advanced vocabulary related to shipping and delivery, such as logistics, distribution, dispatch, carrier, courier. In this case, it's just recommending that I learn more synonyms and more advanced words. For the grammar, you seem to have a good grasp of English grammar. Here are some suggestions to improve. None of the grammar errors identified by ELSA were present, which is a good indication of your proficiency. Char. One small suggestion that would be to consider using contractions more often, such as I'll instead of I will, or I can't instead of cannot. This can make your speech sound more natural and conversational. You know, I used to think that the only way to really improve your speaking spontaneity is by paying tons of money to practice one-on-one with native teachers. But now everything's much easier with an AI tutor on your phone. And the scenarios that you can practice with it, pretty much unlimited. If you're an applicant, you can even practice interview questions with it. You can practice mock calls. So you don't even need a partner because you can practice more realistically with ELSA Speak. But what if your problem is your accent and pronunciation? You have no problem speaking spontaneously, but it's your accent that you want to improve. This is how ELSA Speak is going to help you. Brand. So as you can see, it shows you a word that you need to repeat and copy the pronunciation. The good thing about this is it allows you to execute the 3 steps involved in shadowing: listening, mimicking, and recording. First, when you click the audio icon here,
brand,
you'll hear the actual sound. And then when you mimic the sound, you can hear the recording of your own voice. Brand. So you can kind of compare the sound from the app and your actual sound. From there, you can accurately assess whether or not you're close to the actual sound.
brand,
Brand. Now let's try another word and let's mispronounce it to see how the app reacts. Public relations. There's a specific feedback for the sound that you got wrong. And if you listen again,
public relations,
and my pronunciation, public relations. So you can just hear the difference. And then you can try again. Let's try. Public relations. And now it's excellent. What I like about ELSA Speak is it's not just a passive learning like what we get from the apps we're all familiar with. ELSA is well known globally for its ability to pinpoint exact errors and give feedback for the users to fix their speaking mistakes. It's not only focusing on single words, but also phrases and sentences. For example, this exercise, which is in a conversation format.
Hey, how are you doing, David? A little tired, to be honest. I spent the night at the hospital.
See, so you're not just studying standalone words, but words that are used in sentences. This is a perfect way to learn English. And then we mimic it. A little tired, to be honest. I spent the night at the hospital. Next.
Oh no, what happened? Elliot fell down the stairs right before bedtime.
Elliot fell down the stairs right before bedtime. I have a very detailed breakdown here for what I got right and what I got wrong. So it shows pronunciation, intonation, fluency. Next, we have ELSA Speech Analyzer. This feature is on a whole nother level. With this tool, you can practice long free speeches and then get detailed feedback on your pronunciation, fluency, intonation, vocabulary, and grammar. I'm currently logged in on the web version of ELSA because Currently, their speech analyzer is only available on the web. You have the option to answer that directly on your own words without any help. But if you need guidance, there are guided questions here. There are even sample answers here that you can use as your guide. Once you're ready to answer, just hit the microphone icon. This tool does not only very detailedly analyze, but also provide you with vocabularies that you can use instead to fit the context better. So it's pretty advanced. Depending on the topic, I find that I am sometimes native and most of the time I am advanced, and I think I agree with that assessment. This is even more detailed than ELSA AI on the app. As you can see, I have a score for IELTS, TOEFL, CFR, PTE, and TOEIC. So if you're taking these tests, you would also benefit from this. Therefore, ELSA's Speech Analyzer is highly recommended for presentations, interviews, and meetings practice. So how much is it to take advantage of all these benefits? Well, ELSA currently offers 2 popular learning packages: ELSA Pro for basic skills and ELSA Premium for all kinds of practice, from basic to freestyle conversation and speech with ELSA Pro included. But to be honest, I strongly encourage you guys to get ELSA Premium. Yes, it's pricier, but for the AI-powered feedback alone, it's worth it. For as low as 4 pesos a day, you can already access a world-class English learning experience. Because ELSA is giving you guys, my followers, a special offer, the fee is even more reasonable than the market's price. To take advantage of that special discount, click the link in the description below. To summarize, here are the reasons why ELSA Speak is a must-try tool for all levels of English learners. It's holistic, as opposed to focusing on only 1 or 2 elements of communication. ELSA Premium allows you to practice all areas of language and communication. Number 2, international standardized English benchmark. When you're unlearning the wrong sounds to make room for the right ones, it's very important that what you're mimicking is neutral and international standardized accent. With ELSA Speak, this is guaranteed. Number 3, just like a one-on-one tutor, but without the expensive price tag, ELSA personalizes your learning experience by assessing your level first and then catering your lessons based on that level. Last but not least, it's convenient and accessible. You can pay for a tutor and subject yourself to a strict schedule and a higher price tag, or learn with ELSA Premium anytime, anywhere, at a much affordable price. So if you're ready to transform how you learn English with all its elements intact and holistically, then click the link in the description below to access the special discount. Or if you have any questions about ELSA Pro or ELSA Premium or learning English in general, leave them in the comments below and I'll get back to you right away.